Hello, welcome to Unlocking Buddhism. Have you ever paused, truly paused, to consider the very nature of happiness? It's a word we use constantly, a universal pursuit. But what if the map we've been given to find it is fundamentally flawed, or at least subtly incomplete? Close your eyes for a moment. What images arise when you envision your perfectly happy life? Is it the feeling of a significant promotion, the security of a thriving bank account, the comfort of a beautiful home, the warmth of a loving partner, or perhaps the thrill of a brand new car? For most of us, these are the powerful visions that immediately surface. They represent the peak, the destination where we believe enduring contentment finally settles. We're encouraged, almost from birth, to strive for these external achievements, convinced they hold the definitive key to a joyful existence. Yet, if you're truly honest with yourself, haven't you noticed a curious pattern? Even after reaching one of these cherished goals, that initial rush of joy often fades. A new desire quickly takes its place. Another aspiration emerges on the horizon. It's a subtle, almost invisible treadmill, always moving, always seeking the next thing. This constant reaching can leave us feeling perpetually just out of reach of true fulfillment. What if the path to lasting happiness isn't found in collecting more external markers, but in understanding something far more profound about our own inner landscape and the very nature of reality? Before we delve deeper into this ancient wisdom, I have a quick, simple question for you. In just one short word, what's something you currently believe would bring you ultimate, complete happiness? Share your answer in the comments below. Your perspective is valuable and helps us all connect on this shared journey of discovery. We pour immense energy into chasing these external visions of happiness, convinced they offer a sturdy, dependable foundation for our well-being. We meticulously build our lives around them, securing jobs, homes, and relationships, always with the underlying assumption that this time, this acquisition, this situation will finally deliver lasting joy. But if we observe with a quiet, honest mind, a fundamental, pervasive truth begins to emerge: the principle of impermanence. This isn't merely a philosophical concept, an abstract idea to be debated. It is a lived, undeniable reality woven into the fabric of every moment. Everything conditioned, every object we possess, every situation we encounter, every fleeting sensation we experience, every relationship we nurture, is in a constant, relentless state of flux. It is uncertain, not guaranteed, and ultimately, beyond our absolute control. Consider that powerful, gleaming new car you envisioned, a symbol of freedom and status. While it brings a rush of initial excitement and convenience, can it truly guarantee your perpetual happiness, your safety, or even last forever? Accidents happen, parts wear out. New models emerge, making yours feel outdated, and tastes change. Or perhaps that beloved family you cherish, the cornerstone of your joy. While a source of immense love and connection, life's unpredictable currents can bring illnesses, disagreements, or physical separation, all of which are beyond our ultimate command. These are not pessimistic thoughts, but rather a clear-eyed, realistic acknowledgement of how things truly are. Our minds are incredibly adept at weaving intricate tapestries of future happiness, meticulously crafted around external circumstances. Yet almost instinctively, another deeper part of our awareness can subtly dismantle these fantasies, revealing their inherent vulnerability. It's a continuous, often unconscious, inner dialogue. This cycle isn't meant to diminish joy, but to gently guide us towards a deeper, more resilient source of well-being that isn't so easily swayed by the shifting sands of the external world. This persistent illusion that true happiness lies in external achievement often stems from a lack of true understanding of our own minds and the fleeting nature of sensory pleasures. Even if you manage to fulfill your grandest fantasy, like embarking on a perpetual journey around the world for a few years, it might indeed bring a certain kind of exhilaration. You visit breathtaking landscapes, immerse yourself in diverse cultures. But eventually, for many, even that can become mundane, can't it? Another country, another ancient ruin, another exotic dish. It's often the same fundamental principle at play. just with a different cultural costume. The same desires, the same underlying fears, the same subtle dissatisfactions, the same illusions can resurface, simply wearing a different guise. For those who are truly intelligent, truly observant, there comes a point when you can't help but notice this pattern. You recognize that external experiences, however grand, cannot sustain infinite contentment. They are inherently limited, like a beautiful mirage that promises water but offers only fleeting moisture. This understanding, though sometimes uncomfortable, is not a cause for despair, but a profound opening. It directs our gaze away from the unreliable external world and points us toward a more stable, internal foundation for true, lasting happiness. This profound realization that external pursuits offer only fragile, impermanent happiness can, and truly should, shift our focus dramatically. If the external world is indeed a constantly shifting ground, perpetually uncertain and ultimately uncontrollable, where then can we possibly find a truly stable, reliable source of well-being? The ancient wisdom, echoed through millennia, consistently points us inward, emphasizing that genuine, enduring happiness arises not from accumulation, but from the diligent cultivation of our own minds. The true investment, then, is not in acquiring more possessions, not in climbing higher on the social ladder, nor in achieving fleeting worldly status. Rather, it is in systematically abandoning unwholesome mental states, such as the gnawing grip of greed, the searing heat of anger, the blinding fog of delusion, and the corrosive sting of envy, and diligently developing wholesome ones, like expansive kindness, empathetic compassion, unwavering wisdom, and profound contentment. This, and only this, is the fertile ground where authentic, unshakable happiness truly grows. Consider this deeply. Even if you possessed the most fantastic, cutting-edge car, lived in the most luxurious, sprawling home imaginable, and achieved every single external dream you've ever harbored, if your mind is still plagued by agitation, worry, gnawing dissatisfaction, or relentless craving, true happiness will remain an elusive mirage. We observe countless examples of this phenomenon all around us. Individuals who, by all outward appearances, possess every conceivable advantage and yet still experience profound suffering, internal turmoil, or a pervasive sense of emptiness. Logically, it should be obvious, yet the stubborn illusion persists within us, whispering deceitfully, "This time, for me, it will work. I am different." This relentless clinging to external solutions, this ceaseless outward striving, often stems from a fundamental misunderstanding of our own inner workings, a lack of insight into how the dynamics of true joy truly unfold within us. And it's not just about grand possessions. When you take the time to sit quietly and observe your own mind, what does it truly desire? You might find it clinging to incredibly small, seemingly ridiculous attachments. Perhaps the feel of a steering wheel, the scent of a new car, or some trivial sensory pleasure that rationally seems insignificant. Yet these small attachments are remarkably sticky. If left unexamined, they accumulate, building upon one another, compounding into a vast, complex web of unfulfilled desire and dissatisfaction. You don't even realize it's happening, like a silent program running in the background, subtly corroding your mental peace. For practitioners, especially those with more free time, this vigilance is paramount. Without it, these defilements can consume everything you've painstakingly built. You might sit for hours in meditation, pushing your mind in one direction, while for the rest of the day, it is pulled relentlessly in the opposite direction by unexamined desires. It's like trying to empty a hole while 5 people are simultaneously throwing dirt back in. Without consistency and an integrated approach to our inner life, true progress remains stalled. When we begin to truly turn our attention inward, to investigate the landscape of our own consciousness, we find that our fantasies begin to shift. Instead of imagining ourselves wealthy, famous, physically beautiful, or perpetually surrounded by external comfort, we begin to genuinely aspire to something far more profound: a tranquil mind, a wise mind, a disciplined mind. We start wishing for a mind that does not lean towards lower, unwholesome qualities, a mind capable of clearly discerning what is truly beneficial from what is ultimately harmful. This profound shift in aspiration, this new kind of internal desire, generates a potent, sustainable energy. It's a powerful volitional force that propels us to work on ourselves from the inside out. This profound work requires nothing external, no money to spend, no specific location to travel to, no permission from others. All the essential tools needed are already inherently within us: our body, our speech, and crucially, our mind. This understanding marks the true beginning of real, lasting transformation. This inward shift, this profound redirection of our aspirations, is not merely an intellectual exercise. It absolutely demands consistency, a deep, internal integrity. Think of it like a unified army marching towards a single objective. If you constantly, day in and day out, tell your mind, through your thoughts, desires, and actions, that true well-being and lasting happiness are found out there in the world, in external situations, in sensory experiences, in the accumulation of possessions, or in the validation of others, how can you then reasonably expect it to calmly settle within during your moments of meditation? You are, in essence, giving it contradictory instructions, sending mixed signals. Your mind, quite logically, will naturally gravitate towards what you have continually, perhaps unconsciously, taught it to seek. It's the same principle applied to our physical form. If throughout your entire waking day, you incessantly tell your mind, "This body is the ultimate source of happiness. It's what will bring me well-being. It's the most important thing." How can you then, in moments of stillness and meditation, ask it to disregard bodily sensations and worries? Your mind will inevitably remain agitated, constantly drawn back to every ache, every itch, every subtle sensation, every perceived discomfort. Any sound you hear will pull your attention. Any bodily sensation will become paramount, because the body has been firmly established as the central focus of your existence, the very vehicle for your imagined happiness. True, sustainable progress on the path to inner peace, therefore, requires a unified front. We cannot have one part of our mind diligently pushing for internal tranquility and profound insight, while 5 other parts are relentlessly pulling towards external gratification, distraction, and attachment. It's a futile exercise, like trying to empty a deep pit while simultaneously 5 other individuals are throwing dirt back into it with equal fervor. The pit will never empty. Many sincere individuals lament practicing for years, perhaps even decades, without experiencing the profound results they seek. Often, as wise teachers might gently point out, this isn't because they haven't practiced at all, but rather because they haven't practiced effectively. Simply sitting in meditation for countless hours, adopting a formal posture, isn't enough if the mind remains fundamentally fixated on worldly concerns, driven by unexamined desires. The real measure of true practice isn't the number of hours spent on a cushion, but how much the mind genuinely lets go of external worries and unwholesome states, how deeply it turns inward and settles with unwavering focus on a wholesome quality, a peaceful intention, or a specific object of meditation. This isn't some magical ritual with hidden powers. There's no secret enchantment involved. It's a consistent, conscious, and intelligent effort, deeply grounded in understanding the true purpose of what we are doing. If our meditation practice remains disconnected from our daily life, if it serves merely as another activity, it risks becoming just another aspect of the endless cycle of samsara, driven by ego, feeding the very self we are trying to transcend. Without understanding and integrating the essence of these teachings into every moment, our efforts can inadvertently fuel our ego, leading to a false sense of progress. This makes real transformation incredibly difficult, if not impossible. We must align our inner world with our outer actions to truly walk the path of liberation. We've deeply explored how external pleasures are inherently fragile, always subject to change, dissolving like mist in the morning sun. But there's an even deeper, more undeniable and ultimate aspect of this impermanence that we, as humans, often instinctively avoid contemplating, pushing it to the farthest corners of our consciousness, our own mortality. This is not a morbid thought, but a fundamental truth of existence. Consider for a moment that meticulously constructed perfect scenario you once imagined. A beautiful house filled with treasured possessions, a thriving career that brings status and wealth, Loving relationships that seem to complete you, perfectly behaved children who are a source of endless pride, a dream car, and perhaps a perfectly sculpted body. Everything seems perfectly in its place, a fortress of happiness built against the world's uncertainties. Now, in this picture, introduce a severe illness, a debilitating chronic condition that steals your vitality, or a life-threatening diagnosis that shakes your very foundation. Suddenly, how much value do those external circumstances truly hold? How much genuine comfort can they truly offer to a mind grappling with its own vulnerability? The stark reality is, a single, unforeseen turn of events, a grave illness, a significant loss, or simply the natural, relentless process of aging, can render all those external acquisitions and achievements utterly meaningless, irrelevant. They hold no power to soothe the mind, to quell the rising panic, or to bring true peace when confronted with such profound, undeniable realities. This fragility isn't just about illness or sudden accidents. It's deeply embedded in the very nature of all worldly pleasures. Every pleasure we gain in the material world, every fleeting moment of sensory delight, seems to come with an inherent, often hidden cost. The gnawing worry of losing it, the fear of change, and the undeniable truth of its impermanence. No matter how pleasant an experience, it doesn't last. No matter how prized a possession, it will eventually decay, break, become outdated, or be lost. The subtle, underlying fear of impermanence is always present, even if we push it to the back of our minds through constant distraction and new pursuits. It's like a quiet hum beneath the surface of our awareness. This brings us to a crucial question. When the inevitable time comes to let go, whether it's parting with our cherished possessions, with the vigor of our youth, with our health, or ultimately with life itself, how will we cope? Will we cling fiercely, desperately, causing ourselves immense, agonizing suffering? Or will we have cultivated an inner resilience, a deep understanding, that allows us to navigate these inevitable transitions with a profound sense of peace and acceptance? If our entire existence, our sense of well-being, our very identity, is inextricably linked to external situations, to material conditions, and to the perceptions of others, then the moment of death becomes the ultimate loss, the absolute annihilation of everything we've ever known, everything we've ever valued, and everything we've identified with. For such a person, death isn't just an end, it's a terrifying void, a complete obliteration of self. It's truly difficult to sanely imagine that someone who has lived their entire life chasing and identifying with external pleasures could face death peacefully and serenely. The mind, trained to find happiness only outside, will likely plunge into panic or deep despair. When aging sets in, when sickness appears, the carefully constructed worldview can shatter. All those lifelong achievements, those painstaking efforts, can suddenly appear meaningless, utterly useless. The grand illusion that this is good, this is wonderful, only functions as long as we avoid contemplating impermanence, avoid contemplating loss, avoid contemplating our own mortality. But as we age, as life presents its undeniable truths, it becomes increasingly difficult to maintain that delusion. The chasm between expectation and reality widens, revealing the profound lack of substance in what we once held so dear. Given this profound reality of impermanence and the inherently fragile nature of all external happiness, what then is a truly skillful and intelligent approach to navigating our lives? How do we begin to consciously shift our deepest aspirations from the fleeting to the enduring? The wisdom traditions, honed over centuries, offer a powerful, accessible practice. Allocate dedicated, spacious time for sincere self-reflection. During this precious, undisturbed time, invite your mind to spin its grandest, most elaborate fantasies of happiness and success, inextricably linked to worldly things. Give it complete, uninhibited freedom to construct its perfect scenario. Mentally prompt it. Tell me, dear mind, how do you truly want to be happy? Describe it in vivid detail. What will your hair look like when you're completely content? What kind of car exactly will you drive? Let your mind build this entire elaborate, perfect structure, meticulously crafted in every single detail, leaving nothing out. Once this magnificent, idealized vision is fully built, once everything looks utterly perfect and complete in your mental landscape, then gently but firmly begin to challenge it, not with aggression or self-criticism, but with wise inquiry. Ask, and what if there's a devastating flood that sweeps away your beautiful home? Then press further with calm persistence. But what if your entire country experiences a profound economic crisis, rendering your wealth meaningless? Your mind might ingeniously devise a plan, perhaps to escape to another, more stable country. Then follow up, circling the illusion further. And what if a global conflict erupts, leading to a pervasive war? You continue to encircle the illusion, gently but relentlessly, asking the difficult questions, patiently exposing its inherent weaknesses, its vulnerabilities, its utter dependence on external, uncontrollable conditions. As you engage in this profound process, observe your mind's tenacious efforts to defend its cherished fantasies. It will stubbornly insist, "No, I'll do this. If that happens, I'll do that." Watch this immense mental effort, this incredible exertion, this endless strategizing, all required just to maintain the illusion of happiness on these impermanent external terms. It is, frankly, an absurd, exhausting amount of effort. Now hold that observation in your awareness and consider this powerful contrast. What if you invested that same immense, dedicated effort not in chasing these fleeting external joys, but in abandoning the corrosive mental qualities of greed, envy, anger, and resentment? What if you invested it in learning to be truly content with yourself, in developing inner peace, in not harming your own precious mind with incessant, unfulfilled desires or paralyzing aversions? What if you truly invested it in cultivating a truly healthy, resilient, and compassionate mind? Which of these two efforts, honestly, do you believe would yield more profound, more stable, and ultimately, more liberating results? When you genuinely begin to perceive, through direct experience and sustained observation, how much simpler, more direct, and undeniably more effective it is to deal with your own mind, to transform your internal landscape, than to constantly try to control, manipulate, and rearrange the entire external world, a profound sense of weariness can arise for the endless, outward chase. It becomes strikingly clear, dealing with ourselves, understanding and refining our inner landscape, is infinitely simpler, more direct, and ultimately far more rewarding than endlessly trying to arrange a perfect external situation that, by its very nature, will never truly materialize or last. This realization isn't about giving up. It's about shifting to a truly efficient and sustainable path to well-being. This deep reflection, this consistent turning inward, leads to a profound understanding. True happiness doesn't come from the world, because the world is inherently uncertain and impermanent. Instead, it flourishes within a mind that is healthy, wise, and disciplined. Even if the ultimate goal of liberation or nirvana feels distant or vague, consider the tangible benefits of cultivating a healthy mind right here, right now. Wisdom, clear vision, and self-sufficiency. The ability to not depend on others or external conditions for your well-being. Imagine living without the constant fear of life or the pervasive dread of death. Imagine a deep tranquility that is not easily disturbed by the ups and downs of existence. This level of inner stability should be sufficient motivation for all of us to begin shifting our attitude, to be more mindful, more caring, and less negligent with our own minds. We must stop allowing our minds to create endless worlds of fantasy built on external desires, for these fantasies ultimately lead only to suffering and tirelessly sabotage our genuine efforts to achieve true wisdom and lasting mental health. The journey inward may seem daunting at first, a mysterious and perhaps even frightening territory. But as we slowly, patiently turn our attention within, illuminating that inner landscape, we discover it is far simpler, far more efficient, and infinitely more rewarding than the ceaseless battle to control the external world. The results are not only easier to obtain, but also far more durable and stable than any worldly pleasure. A healthy mind, filled with wholesome qualities, brings peace not just in this moment, but lays the foundation for well-being that extends far beyond this lifetime. It aligns us with the path to true freedom, making the possibility of liberation, once a distant dream, feel viable, tangible, something truly within our reach. So, if this message resonated with you today, I invite you to take a single, powerful step. For the next 24 hours, try this simple practice. Whenever you notice your mind fantasizing about external happiness, a new purchase, a future event, someone else's approval, gently acknowledge it. Then, consciously, subtly, redirect your thought to an internal quality you wish to cultivate, perhaps patience, kindness, or calm. If you're ready to explore more deeply how to cultivate this inner peace, be sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video. And to support our mission of sharing these profound insights, please consider liking this video and sharing it with someone who might benefit. Your engagement helps us bring this wisdom to more hearts and minds seeking true, unwavering happiness.